Hanukkah. And there we go. So if you have your candle and it's lit, or you're lighting it, or think of a lit candle. And I was thinking about the idea of Hanukkah and every night the candle being lit. And what is it that that fire is teaching us? What are we learning from the fire? And if I go back to the Radiant Sutras, right, the very first teaching, not even in the Radiant Sutras, but the very first teachings in any of the sacred yogic texts are on Agni, or on fire, right? Because it is the fire, the flame that resonates in all of our beings, that is the inspiration, that is the passion. But here in the Radiant Sutras, it says, live for a few days, and well, we have 8 days here. Live for a few days in the meditation. I am immersed in the flame of time, the flame of love, the flame of life. What is the flame teaching you? I am tired of not learning the lessons that are in front of me. How about you? What is the flame here to teach us? The flame of time, the flame of love, the flame of life, the universal fire that flows through me. Step into this flame wholeheartedly, starting with your big toe, and then surrender everywhere. Only the not self, the not real, which doesn't exist anyway, will burn away. Attend to this continually. You have to attend to the flame and awaken into tranquility. Your essence is renewed in the flame, for it is flame and knows itself as flame since the first heartbeat of creation. The flame knows itself as flame since the beginning of creation. So what I want you to do before we chant Om is I want you to start to spiral. You can light your flame and maybe gaze at your flame as you're practicing, but start to spiral from your navel center, spiraling out from that flame. Circular motion promotes renewal, as we are in a time of great renewal, of great birthdays. Spiral from your center, spiral from your core. And see that flame. Continual renewal. And as you gaze at your flame, or maybe when you might want to do it later as a meditation, it's a perfect meditation to gaze at your flame. See what it is that your flame is teaching you. That in each and every cell of our body is a tiny flame. Each cell of our body is a tiny flame. A little hearth for cooking up sustenance of our life and then transmuting it into the energy that we are. Move into that space. Good. Now go in the other direction. It is interesting when you look at the flame, the different colors, the base, the middle, and the top. What is the flame teaching us? Excuse me. Beautiful. And then come into stillness, seated. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Pause. It is beautiful homework to learn what it is that the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, is here to teach us. But today, specifically, Hanukkah and the celebration of light, what is the fire teaching us? Inhale for the sound of Om, deep breath in. Om. Release your hands, open your eyes, and come onto your hands and knees. And do some hip circles here. Notice the flame is always reaching up, reminding us to always rise up, elevate ourselves, always increase our goodness. See that you're still rolling around that navel center. Good morning, everybody else that came on after I said hello. Good. And then come center, draw the navel up toward the sky, tuck your chin into your chest, round here. Feel that powerhouse. Press down through your hands, lift up through your armpits, lift up. Good. And then let your head look slightly forward and drop into your heart. Let the shoulder blades come onto your back. Don't lose your rib cage. Keep it lifted so it's slightly more rounded. Beautiful, Lauren. And then stretch your right leg back behind you and your left arm out in front of you. Good. Now squeeze your elbow in to meet your knee. Squeeze in, pull in. Try to keep that fullness in your back body, but reach forward with that arm, reach back with that leg. And then kick your heel up toward the sky and reach back and hold that ankle if you can, or stay right where you are. Keep the fullness in your back body. Keep pressing down through the hand that's on the floor to lift up through that armpit. Pull that armpit wide. And then stretch out through the leg, stretch out through the arm again, and release all the way back down. Beautiful. Tuck your chin into your chest, round your back, lift the navel toward the ceiling. Beautiful. Lift the armpits. Good. Now keep that action, drop into the heart, but do not drop that middle back. Keep it nice and full. Stretch the other side. So which leg is going back for me? Left leg back, right arm forward. Pull up through the low belly, lift up through the back of the throat. And then squeeze your elbow in to meet your knee, pull in, pull that navel in a lot. And then as you reach back out, extend and then pull the arm back as you reach for the foot, left ankle, or stay right where you are. Spread those toes, open that shoulder, take your breath in here. Exhale the knees to the floor, hands to the floor, press back, child's pose. Fire of digestion, flame of knowing, of knowledge. Good. And come on up, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Armpits move forward, thighs move back. You lengthen your spine. You get longer in downward dog. And step your right foot forward. Stay in a low lunge, so keep your hands on the floor. And then reach your right arm up to the sky, taking that arm over your ear. And then let your right knee fall out to the side. So you really open up. Pull the belly back, fall back, shoulder blade deep on your back. And then release your hand back down, downward facing dog. Beautiful, everybody. Good, come forward to plank. Push up. Strong belly, strong thighs. Press down through your hands. Let your armpits even lift more and get wider. And then press back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Keep your fingertips on the floor. Maybe blocks. And then take your left arm up to the sky, twist. Stretch your arm over your ear, lengthen. Good, drop the knee wide. You can be on that baby toe side. Don't lose your back leg though. Keep your back leg, yes. Nice, Ralph. Pull your throat back, nice, and touch down. Beautiful, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Lower all the way down to your belly. Rise up into cobra. Navel pulls in. Lower all the way down to your mat. Come into sphinx onto your elbows. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest. On your belly, sphinx. Lift up onto those elbows. Draw the hands down. Pull the chest forward. Draw the navel in. Good, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, lift your butt up, forearm, plank, elbows on the ground, navel up, you got it. And lower down, press back, child's pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk your upper body to the right side of the mat. Pull up through your middle ribs, lift up, and then lengthen. So you pull up into the middle ribs, you round a little bit, and then pull your arms as far forward as you can. Armpits get that stretch. And then move to the other side. And come back to center and downward dog. I was thinking the other day about doing a class with your dogs because everybody has such cute dogs. So I went online to check out what doga looked like or whatever it's called. And all the classes I saw were with tiny little dogs. Like they would lift them and like twist with them and everything. And all of us have like giant dogs. So not sure that's gonna work. Right foot forward, high lunge. Take those arms to the sky. Bend those elbows here. Draw the elbows forward. Now I need you to round that back still though. So I still need you to grow the rib cage to the back body and then tilt the chest up and lean back. Take your back bend. So our back bend has to come from both that pulling in and that opening up. Kick your back leg as straight as you can. Good, lower your hands down to the floor. Take your right arm to the sky. So take your right hand behind your head for a moment and bow to your flame, bow to your navel, tuck your chin to your chest and curl in. Kick that back thigh up nice and high. Good. Now keep that rounding, but then open up. Feel your chest now opening up to that back bend. Remember, back bend has to go in first and then open up. Nice job. And touch down, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, high lunge. Bend those elbows. Maybe tuck your chin in for just a moment and round into your back and pull it back. Feel the back, middle back get nice and wide and spacious, and then open up into the back bend. Beautiful. Keep that front knee bent deeply. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale your left arm up to the sky. Nice, Sydney. Nice, Melanie. Left arm up. Hand behind your head, curl in. Really get to feel that sense of rounding, and then push your head back into your hand. Extend your arm. Open wide. Open wide. Nice. Lift your head. Beautiful. Nice, Ellen. Touch down, downward facing dog. Wow. Welcome back, Antonio. Very nice. Forward to plank. Stay in plank for a moment, lower down to your elbows, one elbow at a time. And then go straight back up to straight arms. Can you do that without doing fists? Try it again. Lower down and come back up. Diane's like, I'll just stay right here. Thanks a lot. Good. And then come on down and stay in your Sphinx pose. Nice, everybody. Good. Draw that navel in. Shoulders back. Reach out through your toes. Beautiful. Separate your feet for a moment as wide as your mat. Slide your left arm underneath your right arm. This is tricky if you've never done it before. Slide your left arm underneath your right like you're threading a needle, and then roll over onto your left side. Bring your right arm up and back behind you. Make sure your right hip comes on top of your left hip. So Lauren, keep rolling a little bit more, a little bit more. If your right arm doesn't touch the floor, let your hip come a little higher, but keep your feet nice and wide. Sharon, keep going. Go, go, go. Yep, take that right arm up and back. Yep, yep. Keep the feet wide though. Take your feet wide as your mat. That's it. Diane, maybe a little bit more to get that shoulder down. Stretch that shoulder. Yes. That's it. Inhale, come on up. Back into Sphinx. Nice, Katrin. So the trick here is to have your feet as wide as your mat, and then slide your right arm underneath your left arm. Roll over onto your right side, but your feet stay wide. You don't change your feet, you just roll. Now take your left arm behind you. Don't move your feet though, keep them, so your left leg is on top of your right leg. And you're breathing, you're stretching through that whole wide open star energy. Fire of the sun, the fire of the stars, the light of all lights. Beautiful. Come on back. Downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. And then see if you can lift up onto your left tippy toes. Lift up nice and high. Good. Try to keep now your right leg that high, but lower your left heel. Step your right foot forward and take your left leg to the sky, standing split. Hands on blocks if you'd like. Make sure your right foot is pointing straight ahead. It's not turned. Make sure your hips are square. And then tuck your chin into your chest here. Curl your navel up to meet your heart. Pull your navel up, but push out through your legs. And then keep the navel that engaged and look forward and fall into your hands just a little bit so that your right heel can lift off the floor. It's a little bit of work, I know. A little bit. Lower the heel down, step back, downward facing dog. So feel that fire in your belly, but don't feel it, how do I say this? Try to feel it as the power that you are. Try to notice that flame as so powerful. Inhale the left leg back and up behind you. Point the toes to the floor. You're in downward facing dog. Hips are off, knees are off the floor. There you go. Lift up onto your right tippy toes, so nice and high. Notice how high you can kick that left leg here. And then from there, lower the right heel and keep the leg just as high. With your navel drawn in, step your left foot forward. Bring your right leg to the sky, standing split. Nice, Anne. Tuck your chin into your chest and curl your navel all the way up so the fire, that flame, is igniting the heart. Pull it all the way up. And from that space of integration, look forward, fall into your hands and lift up your left heel. Up it goes. Pull it up the back of your leg. And lower back down, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Lift your right leg out in front of, your right arm out in front of you. Right arm forward. You got to pull that navel in. And left leg up. Right arm out, left leg up. Try the other side, don't hold your breath. And lower down to your knees. Press back to child's pose. The fire of being dramatic. No matter how small a light ever is, it lights up the darkness. Pull in through the rounded back to feel the fullness of your back body. Turn your palms face up for a moment. Receive your breath. Good. Plant your hands, downward facing dog, please. So when we draw the navel in, we lift it up. So it pulls in and up, right? Keeping that, stretch your right leg out behind you, down dog, split, right leg behind you. And then left arm in front of you, same way you did it in plank. Look forward and take your left arm forward. Try to breathe through the nose here. Change sides. So think of how much your nervous system wants you to relax here. Lower down and walk to the front of your mat, standing forward bend. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up to the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes and feel. We return to our elements no matter what's happening in the world. No matter what's happening in the world, we return to our elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. We learn from nature what it is we need to do. Release your hands, open your eyes, hug your left knee into your chest. Remember, as I hug my left knee in, I got to take my sit bones back because I'm going to over tuck here a little bit. So I want to pull the sit bones back. I'm going to pull the ribs back and then reach your arms to the sky. Nice, Ronnie. And then send the left leg back behind you, Virabhadrasana 3, third warrior. Like a beam of light, reach out through those fingers. Good, now clasp your hands behind your back and begin to bow forward. No Hands forward bend. Navel has to be engaged. You're nice, Elise, and drop your hands gently to the floor. Standing split. Falling is good, no problem. Right arm to the sky, twisting Ardha Chandrasana. Push that right hip crease back. And then step back to high lunge. Reach your arms up to the sky. Bring your hands to prayer position, hands at the heart. And prayer twist to your right, left elbow. Do it mindfully and slowly, like it's no big deal. Yeah, now pull the navel in, look down to the floor, and lift your back leg up. Don't think about it. Lift your back leg up. Stay in the twist. Bring your back leg up to meet your right leg, left foot up to meet the right. Stay in the twist. Left up to meet the right. Standing forward bend. Okay. That was quite pretty. It's all perspective, Tracy. All perspective.
Especially when you watch.
Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to stand. Hands at your heart center, close your eyes. Every cell of your body is a little hearth, burning with the flame. Good, open your eyes, inhale your right knee into your chest. Shoot those sit bones back and wide. Take your arms up to the sky. Good, Virabhadrasana 3, send that leg back behind you. Keep the rounding in your back, so you really have to pull your attention to that middle back. Clasp your hands behind you, bow forward. Go slow. Let your hands float down to the floor. Let your left arm reach up to the sky. Twisting half moon. Back leg is lifted still. And then step all the way back to high lunge. Beautiful. Kick that back leg nice and high. Bring your hands to your heart center. Prayer twist to the left. Beautiful. Nice. Linda, are you going the wrong direction? You got to go the other way to twist. And then look down to the floor and try to lift your leg up and off the floor, squeezing that leg all the way up to the front of your mat. So then you're in a twist, prayer twist. You got it. Nice, Angela. And touch down, hands to the floor. Nice, Susan. Standing forward bend. Ah, Stacy, beautiful. Turn your feet wide and come into squat. Settle in. There's nothing more necessary than you right now. You to be you. So from here, if you'd like to take crow, crow is one of those poses that I think really uses the power of the navel. If you want to just start the beginnings of crow by dropping your hands to the floor, rounding in your back and pulling your navel up towards your heart here, looking forward without lifting your feet off the floor, you can do that. If you want to try to squeeze those legs both at the same time up, using the knees on the upper shelf of your arms. Good, and then as you lower down, lower up onto your back. Nice, Alex. Lower onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And press your knees into your hands and your hands into your knees. And then drop your feet down to the floor for just a moment. Constructive rest pose. You who have been seeking whatever path you are on, a moment will come when divine pulsation grabs you and carries you into its dance. And in the midst of the ecstatic motion, your body dissolves into light, leaving only the softly glowing benediction of the bones. You become the face of fury, yet serene within. Eyes fly open in amazement, seeing the unseen vastness. Or you become a tongue tasting upward into the nectar of eternity. The soul reveals itself to itself through movement, energy infused undulations and gestures of hand, foot, spine, face, and form, and the invisible loves the visible. That fire within you, your body dissolves into the flame. Good. Take your legs straight up to the sky, please. Take your feet wide to letter B. Maybe arms can come out letter T if you'd like. Draw the navel in and really feel that middle back root to the floor as well as your lower back. Flexing your feet, start to squeeze your legs back together nice and slow. Slow, slow, slow. Take the legs back out to the letter V. And then squeeze in nice and slow. And one more time, out you go. And as you squeeze back in this time, wrap your right knee on top of your left knee. Draw your knees in towards your belly, knee on top of knee like a Garudasana legs. And then pull your shins apart from each other and then squeeze them toward each other. Don't use your hands. Pull apart, squeeze in. Keep your knees coming towards your navel. Pull your shins apart from each other and squeeze them in. Don't use your hands. Beautiful. And then widen your legs to letter V. Slowly squeeze your legs in. Slow, slow, slow. Wrap the other knee on top. Left knee on top of right knee. Squeeze your shins. Feet are off the floor, and then pull the shins apart from each other. Squeeze the shins in. Pull apart. Keep your face relaxed. Shins apart. Squeeze in. And shins apart. Squeeze in. Good. Take the legs up to the sky. Just 3 times. Lift your butt up and lower it. Lift your butt up and lower. Lift your butt up and lower. And then draw your knees into your chest. Good. Plant your feet on the floor. Remember at the beginning of class when I was saying to come into a back bend, you both need to have the spine knowing or having the understanding of arching and curling. So before we come into bridge, just do little, just see that your pelvic can do little tilts. So tilting your pelvis up and then tilting your pelvis down without lifting your butt up. How do you do that? You take your hip points, you move them towards your feet, and then your hip points towards your belly. Just little, yeah, that's it. Your pelvis is doing little movements. You have a little arch of the spine, a little rounding, a little arching, and a little rounding. That's it. And then when you feel the rib cage root to the floor, lift the chest before you lift your butt up. You feel the rib cage root to the floor, but lift your chest a lot. So you're already in the back bend before you lift your butt up. You're already taking your bridge before your butt comes up. Lift more in your chest, more, 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 more. And then let your hips come up. Lift that chin up so sides of the throat stays nice and long. Clasp your hands underneath you. Good, nice, Jane. Make sure those shins are hugging in. The legs have to do really beautiful work here. Really nice. Sharon, maybe even separate your feet just a little bit more. Great. And then lower those hips back down. Good, turn over onto your belly. Lay on your belly. Reach back for your ankles. If you can't reach back for your ankles, you can come into cobra. Forehead to the mat, please. And then think of that idea of lifting your butt up just a little bit so that you're in that slightly kind of inchwormy kind of a feeling, so your butt comes up. And then see if you can pull your navel in a lot. And as your tailbone starts to root, lift up your knees and lift up your chest. So feel the fire of the tailbone, that sacred bone, drop down as you lift your chest. And then if you'd like to, you can roll forward and back, a rocking bow pose. If that's not good for you, I like that, Diane. Sphinx pose is nice, or coming into cobra. And that rocking bow is just going to give you a little bit more fire, a little bit more release and digestion. Great. Okay, and then come on down and rest. Nice. Let's see, was my birthday girl doing it? It is funny when you disappear from my screen. You could just be laying there the whole time. And I know you wouldn't, Ronnie. I know you wouldn't. I would, but I know you wouldn't. Good, back into Sphinx pose. So back up onto your elbows. Some of you are like, when do we start to study the etheric point? Today it's all about the fire. When does the space happen? Okay, take your right forearm in front of you. So you're going to parallel it. There's two ways to do this. You can parallel your right forearm in front of you, or you can just turn it slightly on an angle. The idea here is I need your right shoulder blade to come on your back because we're going to step your left leg on top of your right. We're going to come into side plank forearm. So lean over onto your right side, stacking your left leg, and then press down through that forearm to lift your hips up. Yeah, you got to get that shoulder on top of that elbow, and then reach that left arm up to the sky. And then you have a couple of options here. You could take that left arm over your ear and take the left rib cage up a little more, or exactly that, Alex. You could take your left hand and bring it underneath. So you're reaching for your right rib cage. That's it, Lindsay. Yeah, so you have a lot of options here. Nice, but most important is you keep your face soft. Good, and then come on down and we'll switch sides. Beautiful, everybody. So again, as we turn to the other side, left forearm has to, shoulder blade's got to be on your back. Squeeze your legs together. Yeah, Ralph, you can even reach your hand to the wall and give a little resistance for a minute and lift that right rib cage up nice and high. Yeah, fun. And then if you want to reach down and reach for that left rib cage, you can do that, rounding and curling. Beautiful. One more, one more. And then come onto your hands and knees. Press up. Good, press back to child's pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Steady the flame. Why is it that fire represents so much for us? Transformation, purity, destruction, wisdom, intelligence. So many things wrap around fire. Come on up to your hands and knees. Stretch your right arm out to the right, thread it underneath your left. Alex, if you come a little further forward so you're on your hands and knees instead of back in child's, you might get a bit more of a stretch. You tell me. Cool. Great. Nice. Nice, Katrin. Inhale, come on up. Beautiful, everybody. And change sides. Long breathing, long exhales. Beautiful. Okay, come on up. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Make sure your shoulders are on top of your wrists, right leg behind you. Good, and then lower that foot down to the floor and spin your heel down to the floor. Take your right arm to the sky. Spin your heel to the left. Right behind you though, Josh. Yep, there it is. Put the foot down though. Yeah, right arm up to the sky. Make sure your hip is on top of your knee, and then inhale your right leg up. And then reach back for that ankle. Spread your toes. Let's see, Tatiana, you're doing the wrong hand. Put the left hand down on the floor. You're going to reach back with your right hand. Good, now take your back bend. Pull your chest forward, but pull your ribs in. Dramatic. Release down. Good. Send your left leg back behind you when you're ready. Place your foot down onto the floor. Good. Reach your left arm up. And reach back for that ankle if you can. Draw back, draw back, draw back. Beautiful. And release. Downward facing dog. Exquisite. Forward to plank. Right hand holds you for Vashisthasana, stacking your left leg on top of your right, or placing your right knee on the floor. Lift your top leg if you want to go on a little trip with me. Bend the knee and try to reach back and hold that ankle. Gently release. Downward facing dog. Wow. Rock stars. Forward to plank. Vashisthasana, second side. You can always drop the bottom knee. Great, Ellen. Nice. Reach that top leg up. Reach back for that ankle if you'd like. Yeah, that's the deal, Lauren, is if you fall out of it and just like make it look amazing. Good, and release. Come down to lay on your belly and relax. Turn your cheek to the side. I meant to fall out of that, and look how beautiful I made it. Graceful. Graceful. Notice how fire serves you, or you serve fire in the next couple of days. Notice the element of fire as a teacher. Now bring your hands alongside your rib cage, preparing for cobra. So in this, and I know I do this a lot, but I just love it. Pull your hands back, Ralph, a little bit more towards your rib cage. All the way to, yep. I love this a lot. When I studied with Reverend Jagannath years ago, we were studying Chinese medicine. He was talking about this very specific place that when you, I want to say puncture, but I don't want to say, the puncture, but when you touch this very special part of your spine, it's an open doorway into just another dimension. And so the only way to get there is by lifting up your head, neck, and chest just a little bit. Inhale. Alex, pull your hands back more. Hands back more, yeah. And then lower back down. Reach out through those toes. The navel stays in. So you do everything else you know you're supposed to do, but then you come up a little bit higher so you don't miss it. And then you come down. Excuse me. And you keep raising up one to the next vertebra. That's it. And you come back down. And keep going like that, one vertebra. And each one, whoops, each one you're touching with your mind and your breath. Nice, Antonia. Get those shoulders back. So I'm going to suggest you do 2 more of these. If I'm off, and you haven't been able to get down to the lower part of your back, keep going. But the next time that you feel like, oh, that's about it right there, then lift up to your highest point. Shoulders back a lot, Pam, a lot. And then drop your chin into your chest. Pull those ribs back. And now let your shoulders move way back and lift your head. Good. Lower your head back down. Come into Sphinx. Elbows on the mat. So some of you in Sphinx, and again, you have to use your legs here. Super, super important that your legs just don't hang out. Navel comes in, and then maybe you can walk your elbows forward just a little bit. Maybe you don't have to. Lift your elbows off the mat here. So you're in Sphinx, just lift your elbows up. Pull your shoulders back, straighten those arms. Maybe the arms have to come slightly forward to get them straight. That's it. But reach out through those toes. Sit bones wide and slowly come on down. Make a pillow with your hands and rest. Press back to child's pose. Breathe into this back body beautifully. You are the keeper of your abundance. You are a keeper of your light. Don't hide it. Good, come onto your hands and knees. Slide your right knee in front of your left knee. Widen your feet as wide as they'll go. Just knee on top of knee, you got it. So slide that back knee forward, Ralph. So Lauren's already doing it, yeah. Yep, so knee on top of knee. Go Mukasana, and then sit back between your heels. If you can't sit back between your heels, feel free to put a block underneath your seat. Just wrap your knee behind your knee. I know, it's okay.
Monday's left.
Yeah. Knee behind knee, all the way. Yeah.
Right,
Yes. Now separate your feet and then sit back between your heels. And again, some of you might really love having a block underneath your seat. Good, now take your arms up to the sky and hold opposite elbows. Pull up. Pull your navel up, but let your seat grow deeper. Yeah. And then some of you are just gonna let your hands float back down to the floor and breathe here. Some of you are gonna walk your hands forward and bow over your legs. Tatiana, I need your feet to go wider. So the feet come all the way back by the hips. That's why it's easier sometimes to get into it, yeah, on your hands and knees, but still use that block for sure. But take one knee and yep, feet wide, and then sit back on the block. Put the block between your heels. Correct. You got it. Thank you. Pressing your hips wide, your sit bones wide. Beautiful. Inhale slowly, come on up and change to the other side. You can just stack the other knee on top. You can come back to your hands and knees and draw the knee in front. You can make that little turnaround. Take your arms over the top of your head, hold opposite elbows, lift up, pull up. Beautiful. And then if you'd like to walk your hands forward or stay right where you are. Breathe deeply. Couple more breaths here. And then as you rise back up, stretch your legs out in front of you. Take your legs nice and wide. Maybe sit up on a blanket. And then walk forward. Long, deep nose breathing. The flame also brings up the idea of being victorious, celebrating the victory of light over dark. There's things that we do so habitually. Maybe it's time to become just a little bit more aware of the beauty that surrounds us and why we do what we do. Good. And then take your right hand behind you towards your right hip. And then see if you can lift up your hips and take your left arm to the sky. So lift your butt up by pressing down into your right hand. Yep. And take your left arm up to the sky. Yep. Yep. And then lower that back down and switch sides. Get that butt up. Maybe your legs have to come in a little bit, Katrin. Maybe they're too wide. Yeah, there you go. And lower back down. Beautiful. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go upside down. Ronnie, what are you going to do? Doing headstand? Okay. So we're going to sing happy birthday to Ronnie. So before you guys go into your inversion, watch Ronnie. And we're going to sing happy birthday to her because I just have a thing about upside down. There she is. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ronnie. Happy birthday to you. 60 looks pretty awesome. Excellent. The rest of you can go up into your inversion, please, or you can bring the soles of your feet together and rest on your back. So headstand, handstand, shoulder stand, play with the dog. Yes, I'm telling you, I got all excited the other day. I'm like, I'm going to do a yoga with dog class with everybody. How fun will that be? Let me research it a little bit. And all I saw was little dogs. I'm like, I can't lift my dog up and do poses with my dog. Nice, Lauren. Make sure those ribs stay in. Keep the rib cage in. Good, Ralph. Yeah, power to those legs, power to those feet. So even upside down, you want to pull the rib cage in. You want to explore the navel staying in. Nice, Tracy. Good, Andra. Push down through that crown of that head. So even though the hands are holding you, push down through the crown of your head in any headstand you're doing. Nice, Angela. Good. Take just a couple more breaths here. Great, Sharon. And then begin to lower yourself down slowly, slowly, slowly. Or very quickly with a crash. It's all good. And take just a rest in either your back or seated for a moment. If you have your candle flame, you can sit up and gaze at it for a moment. If you do not have a candle, just close your eyes. It's seated. If you're in a really comfortable place, and you want to just stay there, absolutely do that. But if you have a candle, gaze at the candle. If you don't, close your eyes, gaze at your inner flame. And as you feel ready, you could stay here in either opened eye or closed eyed meditation or lower onto your back and take Shavasana. Ever so gently begin to deepen your breath. Let your body begin to stretch and yawn in any way that serves you well. Maybe take a little twist here. And if you're laying down on your back, you come on up to sit. Bring your hands together as a flame at your heart. Inhale for the sound of Om, deep breath in. Om. Sliding that flame up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. The only question I have is I have Lauren who did not, I don't see who it is, and Veronica can't check you into class if we don't know what Lauren you are or who Lauren you are. So if you can either type it to me or let me know. Otherwise, have a beautiful day, everybody. Oh, there you are. That's right. You did tell me. Thanks, Lauren. You told me earlier. Great. Thanks, sweetheart.
Thank you, Sheryl.
You're
Happy
welcome.
day, everybody. Have a
Cheryl.
great day.
You too. Have a beautiful day.
Thank
you,
you.
Sheryl. Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Sister Diane.
Thank you, Kat. Bye.
Thank you, Sheryl. See you soon.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Love,
Diane.
love, love. Is that enough kisses?
Oh, we're so many hundreds of miles away. You understand. Your
I
sister's
do. I
hundreds
just
of
hate to
miles.
cut off all the kisses.
We can FaceTime, hon.
Yeah, you really can.
Oh,
Bye,
okay.
Stacy. Bye, Ellen. Bye, everybody.